I can't even front, y'all. I can't lie to you, gang. I'm disgusted. What up, YouTube? Tszyu, Heavy Bad Boxing TV. Man, if you don't get your big goof ass in here and hit the bag, hit that like button for your boy. That helps the channel. You know, I appreciate that love. Shout out to gang, man, the bag hitters, the usual suspects. Much love to not just subscribers, but members of the channel. My guy, John, out of BX, the Big Down, Atheist, Ghostbusters. And of course, my man Sean and Don, hold the goddamn phone. Congratulations on that Carmel Moulton rookie card. If you catch me for the very first time, man, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all the content. Rock with your boy. All right, listen, man, I'm a little bit disgusted. I got to keep it all the way a buck with y'all. I've been seeing people appearing to look excited about the potential Sebastian Fundora versus Errol Spence fight next, and I'm just disgusted, bro.
Man, this is
yeah, man. Maybe it's just a pure boxing fan in me, and I want to see the sport done the right way. I want to see the integrity of the sport remain intact. You know, and it's not, I don't want people to think that I'm hating on Errol Spence. No, man, I got mad love for Errol Spence. Hell of a fighter. Pulled for him in several fights, betted on him in several fights. You know, I rock with Errol Spence. Look. We got the same football team, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we brothers for life. But I can't agree with the Fundora fight next.
Oh,
Hey,
bro, come on now,
bro.
dog.
Listen, if anybody should be fighting Fundora next, it should be Tszyu. Now, be it as it may, and I know a lot of people is gonna have some pushback on what I'm about to say. If it wasn't for that cut on the top of Tszyu head, the worst place you could possibly get a cut, because as you could see, the blood just would not stop. If it happened anywhere else on the body, you probably could have gotten control of it. And you want to call his cut man trash, but it's a known fact that if you get a cut on top of your head, you know, that's a very difficult cut to get under control. And he just couldn't manage to do it. But if it wasn't for that cut on the top of his head and that blood continuously pouring into his eye, I mean, it was pouring directly into his eye basically the entire fight since the third round. If it wasn't for that cut, man, this fight was different. That cut altered this fight. I truly believe Tszyu gets a beat on Fundora. He eventually gets that timing. I just believe this fight was altered, bro. It was altered. And you can't sit here and tell me that blood continuously pouring into the eye of Tszyu wasn't a huge factor. Now, listen, I don't want to take nothing away from Fundora. He fought a hell of a fight given the circumstances. He had his own adversity as well. He had a broken, bloody nose. He's swallowing a lot of blood, and he's only able to breathe out of his mouth more than likely, right? So he was going through adversity himself. But I do believe one outweighed the other. And I mean, it did. You know, that blood continuously blinding you, most definitely, in my opinion, it was just a little bit worse of an injury throughout the fight. And I just believe it altered the fight, bro. I think Tszyu eventually finds that shot he was looking for. If you really noticed, especially throughout the first 3 rounds, when Tszyu was able to land that right hand, it was on the button. One of those right hands was the actual punch that broke Fundora's nose, and I thought it was going to be plenty more of that to come. But because of the constant blood in his eyes, and a lot of those spots you could see he was just kind of swinging, man. He didn't know what he was, you know, really swinging at. He was guessing in a lot of those spots. He was letting his hands go. And you know, you got to give him all the credit in the world for just trying to stick it out and be a warrior But it truly, truly handicapped him in his fight. A lot of those jabs from Fundora, Tim never even seen coming. And I'm just keeping it a buck, man. Again, I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to take anything away from Fundora, because I'm not. He deserved to win this fight. The way it played out, if you go back and watch my live, I was saying, listen, they by now robbed him, Fundora, because Fundora won that fight. Make no mistake about it. I don't think anybody could argue that. I think the one judge that had it 116, 112, Tszyu, that was some bullshit. Fundora won this fight. But I do believe he only won this fight because Tszyu was severely handicapped, and I don't think it's the same outcome. And he most definitely deserves a rematch before anybody else. But here's where I'm disgusted at when it comes to Errol Spence. We last seen Errol Spence, and again, I'm a big Errol Spence fan, man. I'm just keeping it real. I'm shooting it straight with y'all. Big Errol Spence fan. We haven't seen him since July 29th of last year, when he got washed, dominated, embarrassed, to say the least, by Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, mind you, here's Bud Crawford coming off being undisputed, now unified at 47. Real quick, man, Bud, just drop the belts at 47, my guy. My nigga, drop the belts at 47. That shit is done. Nobody's there. You're not going to fight Boots. Drop the belts. But here you have Bud Crawford coming off that huge win over Errol Spence. 2 top 5 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And Bud Crawford dominated this guy. He's the WBO champ. He's activated his WBO super champ status. He's next in line. There's no getting around. This is the thing about boxing that we have to keep the integrity about. Now, because, of course, Sebastian Fundora and Errol Spence are what they call on the same side of the street, both PBC fighters, they're more likely to make that fight happen. They had the audacity to bring Errol Spence, to have Errol Spence in the ring after the fight. How, Sway? The last time you fought, you got beat. You haven't had one fight at 54. How you just get to just straight jump the line like you the one with the WBO super champ status?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
That's crazy. Not having one fight at 54 and you're not a champion. It's understandable because of the rules for the WBO has for Bud Crawford. But for Spence coming off a loss to Bud Crawford to get that fight before Bud Crawford is completely ridiculous, and that's what's wrong with the sport of boxing. Bottom line, this isn't supposed to be able to happen. Now, I know a lot of people are going to defend this decision, and I get it. You know, if you want to see Fundora fight Errol Spence, or you're a huge Errol Spence fan and you want to see him back in the mix, I understand. But I'm just saying, listen, fair is fair. You know what I'm saying? Let's protect the integrity of the sport. If anybody deserves that opportunity, it's Bud Crawford. Or even if you don't want to see Bud fight him, somebody else in the division that's not coming off a loss and jumping up a weight class. It most definitely don't supposed to be Errol Spence. And I ain't got a problem with that fight. You know, I think it'll be a fun fight. But I'm just saying, the integrity of the sport, fair being fair. There's no way you coming off a loss. You ain't a champ. You ain't never fought at 54. And then boom, you get the Fundora unification fight. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. And listen, I'm calling a spade. I'm riding with what is right. And to be completely honest, what's 100% right in this fight, in this situation, is Tszyu getting a rematch. Tszyu deserves a rematch. Hopefully they had a clause in place. I'm not even sure. I got to do my homework. I've heard they had a clause. I've heard they haven't had a clause. I'm keeping it funky. I don't know. But most definitely, they should be trying to run the Fundora Tszyu fight back, bottom line. And maybe put Errol Spence on the undercard versus one of these cats. You know what I'm saying? If Keith Thurman is straight by then, or whoever, get his feet wet at least get a fight in at 54. You know? But shit. All right, man. I don't want to talk y'all heads off. I was just a little bit disgusted when I seen Errol Spence get in the ring, and people actually, like Leonard Ellaby, actually saying that this fight, you know, happens next in so many words. It just doesn't make any damn sense to me. But you guys, let me hear all the bullshit in the comment section, man. That's all I got for y'all on this one. Big Tszyu Heavy Bag. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.